yeah, we should be live now. Be a bit of a delay for anyone who's actually in the chat. But
Yo.
what's going on, Dara? How you doing, man?
What's up? What's up? Yeah, good, man. Good. Another crazy week of Warhammer. Seems to be like every week there's like new stuff, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, some are good, some are bad.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know. Let me just check. Oh, all right. We got some people here. Hello to everyone watching.
Yo, what's up, folks? What's going on?
Just for your benefit, and we'll probably repeat this a couple of times. For about the first 20 minutes or so of the stream, Dara and I are just going to kind of go over our thoughts over the last week and how we're going to structure the stream proper. Because what happens is we have our little pre-show chat. Then once we finish for the day, the stream goes invisible. I'll edit it and I'll cut the first 20-30 minutes out, and that becomes something that our patrons can watch if they want. But anyone watching now, you get the benefit of hearing us talk about stuff twice, right?
Yeah, it's like shooting the breeze, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a cool topic today. I mean, speaking of patrons, it was suggested by one of our patrons, so yeah, it'll be a fun one to dive into. But yeah, how you been, Jamie? You know, how's the hobby life going and all that kind of stuff?
Honestly, this last week or two has been busy with like real life. Like I said, moving house. Basically, we sign our papers at the end of the month, but it's done and dusted, all approved and everything. So we're kind of preparing for that. And obviously moving house is a big ordeal, and then work has been crazy again. So I posted on Instagram last night, which I know you saw that I was going to work on my Leviathan. And
yeah, man, I was hyped. Okay. Oh, he's such a bad man.
I got one coat of red down, and it was
nice.
It was prime black. So one coat
takes
of red.
A while.
And then I'm still waiting on my Grav Flux Bombard to arrive from Forgeworld. It should be here Monday. I think it was supposed to be Friday, but it didn't show up. So
right, yeah.
I'll have that, and I did manage to source a couple contempt to.
Oh, the Volkites, nice.
Volkites, yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Now I can't prove they're Forgeworld. The person says they are. So
find the melting point of Forgeworld resin and then melt them.
Oh god, yeah.
You'd have to make a cast to recast it, but then you would know.
Well, then it counts as a recast, and and then I'm like, I've just got to throw it away.
Yeah, true. But at least you would have known.
That's true. And
yeah.
I can't. I'm holding back on the Cyclone launcher because that's not complete. It's just temporarily unavailable. So I'm going to use Havoc launchers. I think Kid Crew was the one that suggested that.
Oh yeah, cool. Yeah,
kind of makes
that
sense.
Works.
It'll do for an RTT, and like I want the Cyclone for for aesthetics really, but just to be able.
It is really cool, to be fair.
But Havoc launcher will work temporarily, and I've got like 3 or 4 of them sitting around unused. What about you? What have you been up to? Because you do a little bit of painting here and there, don't you?
Yeah, I'm like looking at. So my current thing that I'm working on is this big boy.
Nice.
So he's almost done. I should be finishing him after the stream today.
Okay. You're not going to watch the England match?
It's coming home, man. It's coming home. And I was working on the latest Dilvaris and the Details video. So a little preview here of so doing some oil techniques on him. Nice. Also put together my Demon Hurled for the next what's it called? Sprue to Skull Throne. Yeah, so there he is. So yeah, lots of hobby this week, but as it is every week. Oh, I also excuse me while I go off screen. Started painting Bellicor again. So yeah, nice. I'm working on his wings at the minute, which takes like half an hour to do each like side, so an hour to do a full layer of the wings.
God.
And I'm like 6 layers in. My insanity is like it's on that really fine line of just crossing over and becoming insane. Yeah. But I like got back into painting Bellicor this week because I was like so hyped for Disciples of Bellicor. dude, I got burned hard, man. What can I say?
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
I got the I've been a bit bad with my emails and stuff recently, but been trying to catch up, and I just noticed today or yesterday technically, got an email from Neil, got another wing panel.
Oh hell
I'll
yeah!
post that. I'll probably post it tomorrow,
nice.
To be honest.
Yeah.
He sent it to me
I've like
week.
Obviously I think he's incredible, but so like when I'm painting the wings, there's like this like part I'm gonna try and show you.
Yeah.
So this membrane in here and this one here, dude, they're like so hard to like get the brush into, because it's like it's this really weird angle where you can't like hold a brush like you normally do.
Right.
So when I saw that he was like freehanding that area, I was like, this man is insane. I can barely do like my layers in there, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it, but yeah, dude, that guy's got skill, you know?
Well, like he was like, as obviously I've got all the I've shared almost everything except the one I received, and I was like, man, this is crazy. Like, this is really good. And then a couple like a week ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that, I was just sorting out some boxes, and I've got a Bellacore still untouched, and I was like, okay. So I picked up the sprue with a wing on it, and I'm like, Jesus, this is tiny. Like, it's a big model. I'm like, because I've been seeing his version, like, and you know, I'm able to zoom in because I'm on my big screen monitor, and I'm like, hold it. I was like, how the fuck is he getting that?
I know,
that
dude.
detail?
It's crazy. Yeah, it's really.
In the chat. What's up, man?
Oi. Yeah, Dean's been doing a pretty good recently. Telling me he's been bringing a lot of demons. So shout out to my boy.
His battle reports. He played a game with his Khorne demons.
Yep.
Would have been yesterday or the day, but I don't know. But he sent me some pictures and stuff. Yeah, he's been getting some.
Good to see. Good to see people getting games and skulls. You know, but I mean, let's chat a little bit about, you know, the good, the bad, and the ugly of this day. Like, first of all, dude, before we get into like the real kind of elephant in the room, how hyped were you when you watched that Deathcore trailer, dude? Because I was losing it, you know.
The Deathcore trailer, it was awesome, because that came out on Friday, didn't it? The 14th,
really weird time. Really weird time.
They just knew that everyone already knew.
So I have like a feeling that someone like had the file and was like, yo, I'm gonna leak this, and they were like, damn, we gotta drop this, because I'm like, it released at like 7:00 here on Friday night, which is like, they never post anything at that time.
At the pub,
I was just like, yo, this is weird. Like, but yeah, dude, it was so high. Like, everyone knew it was coming, you know, for like a while, but dude, like, I mean, I have wanted to get Deathcore since I was a child, you know.
It's a dream army. It really is.
Yeah. And I was dabbling with the idea of diving into them last year. But yeah, from various sources I had heard it was maybe a better idea to hold off. And now I'm like, oh, okay, I can see why I was suggested to do that. But yeah, it's pretty hype, you know. The poses are really cool. I love that, like, everyone kind of has like their own little role and stuff in the squads. You know, it's like real cool. Yeah.
I what you said there about like holding off, like with the like the Horus Heresy or the 30k set, I don't know if it's been confirmed to be plastic. Maybe it has, I'm not sure, but like the rebrand of 30k, I'm fairly sure is coming in plastic, so we're gonna get like the old Mark power armor and stuff again.
You would assume so, because like all their kind of launch boxes are plastic, you know. It's like the foundation of most of my Berserkers is built from the Burning of Prospero. No, the other one, Betrayal of Calth.
Right,
yeah.
And I'm just wondering, because in that image, and other people have mentioned this, but there's a Spartan in there, dude. There's a Spartan.
Yeah, I know. So when I saw that, I was like, yo, it'd be so weird if they made a plastic Spartan. But I also would have said it would be so weird if they made plastic Krieg, and they did. So I'm kind of like, at this point, anything goes, you know.
I think it's part, in my opinion, it's part of a long-term business strategy. I think, you know, obviously GW has they see the sales numbers, right? We have our opinions on what units should be plastic and blah, blah, blah. But they know way more than anyone else in this community where to divert resources, right? They've got the best forecasting and, you know, data and all that stuff. So their business decisions, for good or for bad, are at least based on more information. So I wonder if a lot of the, whilst COVID and work-related issues has slowed down Forgeworld, I wonder if there's been a 5-year plan, 3-year plan, something like that, and they've cherry-picked some Forgeworld units and say, okay, we're not gonna rebuild the mold for this unit, or this army or whatever it may be, and once it's sold out, we're going to transition to plastic, and we're 2 years down the line, we'll drop a Krieg army. Then we're gonna redo the Contemptors, and we're gonna just, because they already have a plastic Contemptor, we're just gonna make various plastic Contemptors.
Because there's a new plastic Contemptor in that starter box.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because you can get the one with the assault cannon and fist, I believe.
He is a multi-multi as well, but damn, that model sucks.
Yeah, it's just very so static, standing like.
Yeah, the model comes in like 2 pieces, like the front and the back.
Really?
And the body and the legs are together, and it just bunk.
Oh no! Yeah,
yeah, it's really awful.
I've never had the plastic one. I just didn't want one because I wanted the option to magnetize, and I knew it came.
Like, it's cool that it's there. If you don't really care about like. Because, like, dude, I mean, you have obviously experienced as well. The Forgeworld Contemptors are hard models to build, I got to build them from the feet up and, like, work upwards, to get the right pose and stuff. And it's the same with the Leviathan, because, like, I find if I, like, start anywhere else, I'm like, oh, yo, his, like, stance does not make sense at all.
I just guess. I just fuck it.
I mean, fair play.
I was chatting with Mark last night, Mark of Khorne. Because I made a post that I actually deleted because I'm a dumbass. But I made a post about I thought I'd been misinterpreting the piling consolidate.
Oh yeah, so yeah.
I left it in Discord, but I'd also put it on Insta and Facebook, and because I've been rereading my rules, right? I'm going back and I'm looking for like a phrase that I've been playing wrong or I've been forgetting or something. And,
it's really important to do. Yeah.
I remind myself of a couple of things. But I was reading through that, and I won't go into details. But anyway, so we started chatting, and the phrase come up. Something my granddad always taught me, or always mentioned and kind of stuck with me, was measure twice, cut once, right? It's a good philosophy for life. However, I
like that actually. Yeah, that's that's nice.
Was, a piece of wisdom my granddad imparted to me was measure twice, cut once. But however, I play World Eaters, so I don't measure. I just cut and cut and cut until it's gone. And that's how I apply it to my hobby. Just fucking throw it together, and if it works, it works.
For the most part, it's like really funny, right? And it's actually more awkward than funny, right? But so a lot of my HQ characters are like custom built and stuff. They're all conversions and stuff. And I often get people being like, "Yo, like, what's your process for like converting and building and stuff?" And I'm like, how do I put this lightly? But basically, I mash everything together, and eventually something looks cool, and I'm like, "Yo, let's go!" Like, I'm really bad. I'm bad at building models. Like, I really just don't gel with that part of the hobby.
Okay.
So like when I'm like converting stuff, I'm like, it's not like I'm like, oh, I have this like vision in my head. I'm just like, all right, shit, what's in my bits box and what fits and doesn't look really stupid on this guy. I mean, admittedly, like, some cool stuff's come out of it, but like I was building my Dreadclaw this week, I nearly died, dude. Like, genuinely, that was a life-threatening experience.
Oh,
yep.
Yeah.
But there's so much weird stuff with the Dreadclaw kit in general. I'm like, why did they send me a whole drop pod when I need like the doors and that's it? I got like so much. I know, but like, dude, it's just weird, But yeah, I got it done, so he's gonna see the table hopefully soon. Like, I was just using a flying stand, and I was like, this is the Dreadclaw. And my Hellblades have been 2 Hemlocks because I don't have them like magnetized to their bases yet. Okay. So I've just been using my roommate's Hemlocks. I mean, like, obviously they're Hellblades.
Yeah.
But got a good game tomorrow, so that should be gonna try my competitive list. No. One of my friends is coming over. He used to be on the Irish team. And
that's right, you said. Yeah.
He's bringing his Space Wolves.
Ooh.
Actually, he said it's either going to be his Space Wolves, Blood Angels, or Dark Angels. So it'll be fun either way.
Every one of them can do some work, and like Space Wolves are obviously a bit less meta than the other two, but against us, that's a tough match because they will,
it's
like
the trades.
Everything we can do, they can do a little bit better, quite frankly.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me just touch on the comments here a bit.
Yeah.
Bonner, the Mark 6 Beaky, Contemptor, Cataphractii, Characters and Spartan. He still thinks that's a Land Raider. They're all plastic. Hopefully November. I can see that. Kind of fits with their rough.
I've heard schedule. November being thrown around a lot as well. Yeah.
Dini says, thanks lads, was a struggle against Eldar, and he still prefers World Eaters. Well, of course. I mean,
of course, yeah. What the hell, dude? Why do you have to say that?
And Steve again, you can still magnetize the plastic kit. Sculpt is just garbage. Yeah, this is the
yeah. I went so far as to like cut every single joint on the model so I could just make it basically Forgeworld Contemptor. But you know,
he says he picked up 5 of them and now need arm options to magnetize.
I think they're actually quite easy to magnetize though. So
eBay rescued them. Okay, so yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, if you're competent or willing to mess around and spend the time and effort into reposing them and green stuff in the joints and what have you, hell yeah. I mean, because the plastic version, if you get it second hand or whatever, is going to be a lot cheaper than like my 2 Contemptors, which sure come more posable and stuff like that, but saving, like, if you can trade your time for money and you have the time to offer them, why the hell not? Like, go for
sure.
But sorry, that was Josh Rayner that said about the eBay rescue. But even so, all right, so obviously once we go, like, we're obviously live, but when we go into the show proper, we're going to talk about Caradon, the Chaos Space Marine side of Caradon, which we'll save the big topics for that.
Yeah, we won't dive much into it right now. But
it's done to death. But we need to 30 seconds to a minute talk about it, vent our frustration, our thoughts. But I think there is a little bit of a positive side. Not because of it, but I think we both agree we've got like a positive spin on that. So
right, yeah.
When we do our proper live, I'll walk us in, and then I'll invite you to, do you want to just briefly talk about the Chaos Space Marine update, the Legion update for
Right.
Yeah. Because if I go, I'm worried that I'll just won't shut up.
Yep.
But I'll kind of invite you to just talk about that, and then I'll kind of respond with like our positive thought on it, like our
the singular thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I like the big thing for me, right? All right, let's just be real. We all know it's shit.
Yeah.
Like, really shit. Like, obviously you guys who are here early can see that now, but like, I don't want to just like parrot it and like we go live and it's like, oh yeah, guys, oh, it's so bad. I'm just gonna say everything that everyone's already said, and I'm like, what's the point of that? You know, we all know it's bad. It's fine. It's whatever. Like, we'll touch on some stuff that I think is really funny about the book.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, there's no point, just being like, oh, it's really bad. Sad for Chaos Space Marines. Like, yo, like, we gotta fucking calm down a little bit. We're like the best non-new Codex army in the game, and within our Codex, we're the best mono faction. So like, we're not Tau, and we're not Gene Stealer Cult, right? Let's just, like, fucking hell, like, you Mark going to the ACO and, like, coming in the top, what was it, like, top 30, top 20? Yeah, dude, like, that's not the sign of a bad army. And I know he's, like, an excellent player, but, like, an excellent player can't do well with GSC at the minute, but you can do well with World Leaders. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, sure, things are good. Like, the thing that really, like, kind of bugged me about the community reaction was everyone was like, I can't believe we didn't get 2 wins. It's like, first of all, we were never going to get that, and like that was just never going to happen. But second of all, wouldn't have mattered. It's like we've said it before. 2 wins is like arbitrary compared to the rest of the stuff that needs to be changed anyway. So yeah, I don't know. We're not in the worst place in the world. Nothing has really changed for us. Bellicor is usable in a Demon's army, which is like, I'm gonna run that for sure. I'm gonna bring my Demons out again and run like Bellicor and 2 Bloodthirsters. It's gonna be baller. But yeah, like, it was certainly a book that came and went, and I'm a lot more excited about the Octarius book because it has that really cool artwork on the front with the Tyranid, and I'm like, yo, that Tyranid warrior is huge. He has like an Imperial Guardsman like impaled on one of his sighting talents, and I'm like, yo, he is massive.
Hey, just one sec. Rob said in the chat that I'm pretty quiet apparently.
Okay, let's turn
I just turned up my audio, Rob, and I'm gonna match Dara's to it. So testing 1, 2, 3.
Test 1 2 1 2.
All right. If someone could let us know in the chat if we're maybe a bit more equalised, you may have to turn up a little bit because I brought Dara down a bit and me up a touch. But yeah. So yeah, there's definitely a lot to be said. And I've got I know you can't see it, but on the screen, I've got the Goonhammer kind of overview of Caradon. Which I'm not going to go into depth on, but it's just to like scroll it through for visual appeal for everyone. Because obviously, Mike P.
I saw when he was he was there. I was like, when I saw the thing saying Mike, I was like, is that Mike P?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, he's their demons guy now. Like,
it makes sense. He's like the most knowledgeable demons person I know.
Yeah.
So,
and he's doing the Wrong God's work with Emperor's Children right now as well. It's
oh yeah, true. Yeah, he's got that
along that. Him and then Mark Perry's he's on his second day at the one of the GTs down south in the southern part of the United States. The meet up at the mall, or I don't know, something like that. He's running triple Dreadclaws.
Yeah,
triple Dreadclaws.
I like
Children, but yeah.
I can definitely see that working, but I'm just like, yo, I'm not bothered buying and building and painting another team.
No, I get that.
To be honest,
but I think
it's really good.
Dreadclaw, for me, like, because we've obviously been talking about the Dreadclaws a lot, like privately and in the Discord and stuff.
Yep.
I think the more I think about it, if you're going to go Dreadclaw, I do think just maximizing that impact. Now, for us, it sucks because it eats those fast attack slots. So you're kind of, then you're asking, do I take a patrol as well or something? But triple Dreadclaws with the right contents becomes a lot more threatening. A lot more, because your charges, you've got more charge options and stuff like that. So
yeah, it changes. It's like we talked about in Drill Gang. When you build 2 drills into a list, it fundamentally alters how you build that list. And triple Dreadclaw is much the same situation. I still think it's like eggs in a basket, though. I just can't ever see. Like, I understand it is a good play. It's so much better as Emperor's Children, though, because you don't have to rely on the charges. That's the thing,
Yeah, like the Noise Marines make all the difference there. Now, he's only running, I think, one squad of like 7 Noise Marines. Now, he's got some Chosen and stuff, but yeah, I think like Emperor's Children can do it without the Dreadclaws, I think. Warp time in a squad of like a huge ass blob of Noise Marines up the board and then just throw everything on them. It's like the Chaos version of the Admex Skitarii, right? It's you get a big blob, you pump all your spells and CP and everything into it, and you delete. But you know what? Mark knows his shit. I ain't gonna.
Yeah.
He went 2-1 on his first day. I was looking at the lists he beat. He beat a Drukhari. He lost to a Drukhari, and then I think was it a Marine player he beat. I want to say his third round was against Marines. So he beat a Drukhari in his first round. I mean, beating a Drukhari army, as you know, is an achievement in itself. Being able to get that W.
Yep.
So you know what, his list works on it works enough. We'll have to hear about his report. Like, hopefully he'll talk about it on Art War or.
Yeah,
somewhere.
For sure. I'll be curious. I mean, I'm just glad that he's still repping Chaos. It's nice to see it.
That seems to be generally what Mark does. He's about that life.
He's like us for them.
yeah, exactly. So there's let me just check on the comments again quick. 2 wounds is going to change the values of all unit profiles. Yeah, I mean,
exactly. Yeah,
we know it's coming.
Well, how they could have addressed that in the Caradon book is impossible because they'd have to redo points for everyone.
But you know, if they would just do like a twice or three times a year FAQ or something, they could do it then.
Yeah, but
okay,
you know, look, yeah.
JY in the chat, who I'm wondering if somehow this is Krieg, because says if you don't want triple Dreadclaw, then what about the Don?
It has to be Krieg, yeah.
But it's like
he's under a new alias
there or something. 3 in the maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah.
But he also, I love the Emperor's Children strat that turns one dice in the charge phase to a 6.
Yeah, honor the prince.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's like the best like out of deep strike charge strat in the game.
Yeah,
like
better
bar
than
none.
3d6 pick the best. It's better than +1. It's Now 3d6 and add them together. Well,
I think it maps out as about roughly the same. I would imagine.
Well, that
like
that
the
should
bloodletter
on average give you 12, but the turn 1 into a 6 is probably better for the 9. Like if you're needing a 9, turning 1 into a 6.
It eliminates like a lot of variance. Obviously, 3d6 has a lot of variance built into it. Like the average is this, but you know either side of that bell curve, there's a lot more possibility.
Yes,
if you're just turning one dice into a 6, the actual outliers and stuff are so much slimmer. So you always want to narrow
control.
The variance as much as possible.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Then though Thodiwandudi, I apologize if I've said that name wrong. Loves the channel, awesome with some chilled Sunday streaming. Thank you very much for being here.
Oh yeah, that's what we're here for, you know.
Yeah. We're just here to...
Might come down after work.
yeah, right. And Dean with need them Raptors. I'm not dropping them from my list. Don't blame me, mate. You want some controversy? Dara, you want to hear something controversial?
Hit me with it, too.
So, obviously, I've been advocating a big, tough blob of bikes for a while, right? And I've been running it, and I've been having success with it. No issues with it. But I am considering dropping the bikes. I'm considering...
whoa.
Yeah, and I don't know. I think... Like I keep talking myself back and forth on it because they've been consistent. Oh, God. They've been consistent in their what I want them to do. But do you know Zach Rockner? He's on Facebook. I've probably just mispronounced his last name actually, but that's all right because he called me Australian, so I don't give a fuck. But,
I saw that. I saw you shared.
He does Vox Demonicus.
Yeah, that's it.
The podcast, like Chaos Theme podcast, and his latest episode, which dropped this week, he talked about his RTT list, which I believe was this weekend. I don't know if it was yesterday or today. I can't remember exactly, but he runs 3 blobs of 8 Raptors, and he talked about how he used them, and he brought up some points that I hadn't properly considered. Okay. And now I've done the math because 3 squads of or 15 Raptors, whether you do 3x5 or a squad of 15, is 225 points, and a squad of 8 bikes is 224 points. So it's right there together, right? Throw a chain axe on the champion, you're equal. But wounds wise, you get an extra wound and toughness 5 on the bikes. But Raptors, you get 3 individual squads for actions, and that for me is the kicker. Is the ability to do more actions.
I mean, like that's basically all I use my Raptors for anyway.
Right.
So they're good action monkeys. That's the thing.
And that's something I need to diversify my list with. Because I'm very secondary locked at the moment, and sometimes I've struggled in getting like the 4th quarter. I have to make a hard decision: do I use a squad of berserkers to get me the final 4 VP for?
Oh yeah.
Or do I charge them? And I mitigated that by throwing Marines in. But then if I come up in the top right corner, my Marines can do like the 3rd Octarius. But then they're not getting across the board for the foot because of that 6 inches. So, then I have 2 CP on cultists to do it. But if my cultists are all dead or, scoring me engage or something. So I am.
I feel it's like your options are pretty limited with.
Yes.
It's kind of like if one thing goes wrong for your secondaries, like the house kind of falls down.
Yeah.
To an extent, obviously,
Yeah.
but I can kind of see it. I mean, I kind of like just running 2 squads of 5, and just like vibing basically.
Yeah. So
But,
yeah, I'm not saying I'm going 3x8 or even 3x5, but I am. If I drop the bikes and put 2 squads in, that suddenly frees 75 points in my list, which, 75 points goes
It's a
a
squad
long
of
way.
Raptors.
So yes, exactly. I can. But I don't need the squad of Raptors then. Like, I don't know. It's just the wheels are ticking.
Yeah,
so.
Man, it's really annoying. I feel like both of us are at the same point where it's like we almost have our list.
Yeah.
But it's like this last hurdle is just really tough to get over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough. Steve says, bring back Doom Rider. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
We all want Doom Rider to come back.
We need bike. We need proper. I want Chaos Marines when we get our extra model refresh. I see bikes getting a new model. The unit, like Mutilators, probably Chosen, perhaps. More character options. We're going to get stuff. GW's going to sell a shit. Bikes will get a new model. Now, whether they just become a rebrand, like a new model for bikes, like Chaos Marines.
I hope so, yeah.
That's what I want. I don't want super bikes. I don't want Outriders. I want bikes.
I think the previous refresh of our range, though, proves that it's most likely just going to be an upgrade for the existing.
Yeah. And I was thinking about this earlier, right? Because there was a YouTube comment which I haven't had time to respond to, right? So the old way of playing, where Chaos was just evil Marines, right? Firstborn. Tactical Marines and Chaos Marines are tactical in that they have weapons options, right? You build them for the game you're playing. So if you're playing Imperial Guard, you throw melters on them. If you're playing like a Tyranid Horde, you throw a heavy bolter or flamers or what, right? They're tactical, and you can also make each squad diverse in itself. That's the idea of a tactical firstborn list versus a Primaris list, which every unit is essentially equipped with the same weapon and is a specialist unto itself against a unit type. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, yeah. Right. I'm fully with you.
Yep. So they're obviously pushing Loyalists to be each unit is a specialist, again, is the rock or the scissors or the paper. Chaos Marines then take the mantle of each squad can be a small rock, a small bit of paper, and a small pair of scissors, right? It can do a little bit against anything if you choose to equip it that way. It's tactical.
Of course, yeah. Yep.
But the problem with that is you lose the ability to specialize if we do go to any kit that's been released since the start of 8, so Terminators, Chaos Marines, I think that's really it. Havocs. Yep.
Yeah.
You can only equip them with what comes in the box. Therefore,
I think that before you go on,
yeah,
Admech and Sisters don't have that issue in their codex.
They do.
So I think that, like, as I said months ago, that's probably not going to happen.
Okay.
It's like it didn't happen for because the Sisters have their Havoc equivalents, and they their kit doesn't have everything. It has like one of everything. You can still buddy up with everything. The same with the Skitarii. You can put X, Y, and Z on them. I don't know what their options are. So yeah, I was kind of like, I know a load of people started getting scared about it, and I was like, I feel like maybe just play it out. Yeah.
I did. But,
yeah, you were like stirring the pot.
But back then,
burn your models.
Yeah. Back then, it kind of
it was scary though for a while.
Feel
for sure.
like that. So okay, maybe I need to revisit that and clear that up a little bit because I don't want to be. I don't mind giving my opinion, but if information has changed, I need to clarify that I was wrong.
It certainly, obviously,
wrong,
we don't know for definite anything, but judging off current trends.
Yeah. If I was prepared to speculate in the negative, I need to be able to clarify. Information has changed. That's on me. I don't mind being controversial, but I don't want to be I don't want to be salty or anything like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. But yeah, looks like we might be okay. But I think it's interesting. Hopefully we get a nice little refresh again. I mean, I don't even want new Berserkers because I just have too many as it is.
Yeah,
you know,
I will buy them just because they'll be cool, but
I will too.
It'll take me 2 years to get them battle ready. I'll just say that up front.
Yep.
Okay, you think should we start?
I think we're good.
Start the podcast or the session proper and actually get.
It might be a podcast if that's where you're listening to it.
Yes, it will. Yeah.
Aha.
Well, they won't be.
Check us out on Spotify. Time for the plug.
They won't be listening to this bit because we're going to cut this out.
Oh yeah, true. Okay, wait.
This is just for the heroes and villains watching us live and anyone who's a patron, obviously. But yeah, okay. So we'll go silent for a little bit. I'll walk us in. I'm going to do my points of view. I'm going to remember it today, and it'll be an easy one for you, to be honest. And then we'll just dive in. I've got a schedule in front of me. So yeah, let's go quiet for a few seconds. Hello and welcome back to the Red Path. How's everyone doing? Dara, how are you doing, mate?
Good, dude. Yeah, vibing pretty good right now.
Yeah.
And you, man?
I'm doing all right. Sunday afternoon.
Nice.
We're going to talk some Warhammer, talk some 40k, talk some Chaos. The topic for our main conversation today is building a competitive, as far as you can go, World Eaters list using Games Workshop only. We've had several comments in the this is mostly from Patron. Or a Patreon who was asking about it, and it seemed like a genuinely good topic because we're both big Forgeworld fans, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it wasn't until it was said, that I kind of realized that, like, I was like, yo, maybe we should, like, address that because, like, I get really caught up in, like, my ideas and stuff, like Drill Gang and all that. I get like really passionate about it, and I kind of get lost in like sort of the wider kind of scene. But also like I guess as a personal stance, like the kind of aesthetic that Forgeworld allows for a World Eaters army is the aesthetic that I like to build towards. Yeah. At the same time, I have 2,000 points of World Eater Demon Engines army as well.
Okay.
But that kind of a thing. Like I prefer
you played that in 8th, didn't you?
I did, yeah. I played the crap out of that in 8th. Yeah. I played it a little bit in 9th, but it's I mean, look, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But like it's really important to kind of like there's a lot of new people joining the hobby at the minute, as there has been for the last number of years. But it's really important to kind of like I would say like the most like recurring question in a lot of the groups that comes up in the World Eaters thing is like, cool, I've just decided I'm going to start. What's a good starting point? And obviously you don't want to be like, hey, you got to buy like a Hellblade and a Termite Drill from Forgeworld, because if this poor like person is like just into the hobby and they're like, oh, okay, that seems pretty expensive, and they get sent to Forgeworld Termite Drill and they're like, how the hell do I build this? So I guess like we're going to talk a lot about like kind of a GW only style approach, kind of I suppose a more user-friendly way of collecting the World Eaters is a good way of putting it.
I think that's definitely the way to more accessible, right? Easier to get.
For sure.
You can get it at your local gaming store. You can order it a lot quicker online. Multiple retailers sell it at 15-20% off, depending on your location in the world. If you know people, they'll probably have an old army that they'll be a lot more willing to sell to you, sort of cheaper. Stuff like
absolutely.
That. So it's definitely more accessible. But before we get into that, we are going to touch on like news of the week's news. But before we go on to that, I'm just bringing up my battle scribe list because I've got a points of view for you, Dara.
I'm ready.
For anyone who's not familiar with this, we've only done it once, so I wouldn't blame you. But I come up with something ridiculous from the Chaos Codex, Forgeworld, whatever, any units available to World Eaters, and where we have something that's more of an established meta choice, for want of a better word, I throw something out of left field at Dara, and he has to guess what it is based on. I'll slowly add more attributes and stuff to see how long it takes him to get it.
I think it was a Vindicator the first time, wasn't it?
No, it was the Storm, the Fire Raptor.
That was it. Yeah.
It was a Fire Raptor, yeah. A little bit different to a Vindicator, but hey.
Yeah. It's a Vindicator with wings.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. No, I think it was when you said the quad heavy bolters, I was like, yo.
yeah, there we go.
All right, hit me with it.
Okay. So, you're familiar with a particular Forgeworld flyer called the Hellblade, right?
I am.
How much does that cost, Dara?
In real life money?
No,
or
no,
points?
Points on the table. Points on the table.
135 points.
135 points. Okay,
yeah.
so I think that's well costed. Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm glad we agree on that, because for the same price.
Okay.
For the same price, I'm going to give you 8 autocannon shots at strength 8 -1 2, and damage 2. That's exactly the same, isn't it?
8 autocannon shots, strength which?
Strength 8.
Oh, strength 8. Okay, because there's 7 on the Hellblades.
Oh, so it's better. Oh, okay.
Right.
Sorry, it's better. I didn't realize.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So it's also toughness 7, which is tougher, right?
Yeah.
It's got a 3-up, 5-up, so that's the same. And really the biggest, there's a positive and there's a negative. Or there's quite a few positives here. The negative is, it's not -1 to hit naturally. And it's only got a move of 8 inches. And it doesn't fly.
Okay, I think I know. But keep going. I think I know.
Guess now before I...
Is it a Forge Fiend?
It is a Forge Fiend.
Yeah! I know this book too well.
Yeah. So, it was weird. I was looking at... Because I like the Forge Fiend. I do. I think a single Forge Fiend is not a terrible choice, which is actually going to lead into our main discussion in a while.
Okay, cool. I'm interested now. Yeah.
Now, sure, the Decimator is probably the best demon engine if you're running a single to benefit from Demon Forge, right?
I kind of think the Bloodslaughter is up there too, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking more of I like to have my chunky units, or I build these things in mind of I'm capitalizing on the shooting phase with Demon Forge.
Right.
Fight phase,
yeah.
I'm probably getting benefits from Khorne or a Lord anyway, or an Exalted Champion, but I want something that can sit on a back objective, is reasonably chunky, and can put out some DACA. And I was like, let's look at the Forge Fiend. I've got one. I love the model, but it's But then Demon Forge, I know it hits on 4s, which hopefully will change. But I was like, okay, it's basically like a Hellblade that doesn't move. Because it's what it is. So you're sacrificing.
I love it now. I hated it before, but now I can't resist.
Yeah, it's like if I can just crash my Hellblade, I can. But the reason for that is it doesn't score you much for engage, except if it is your back right flank. Right? If that's the only unit on that objective, it's still contributing. It's not doing it much else except holding an objective, throwing out 8 autocannon shots with potential rerolls on everything a turn for 1 CP, which is fucking great. And it's not bad because I go with the twin autocannons and then the chompy mouth. I don't throw the ectoplasma on there because if it gets charged, it can rip and tear a little bit. I mean, it's not bad in combat with the demon jaws. Again, I'm not saying this replaces the Hellblade in any stretch of the imagination.
It won't in my list. I'll tell you that right now.
But the Forge Fiend has got a lot of people don't like it, and I understand. But I do think if you've got 150 odd points left and you're not sure, and you need something that can hold an objective for a couple of turns, and will put out a bit of kind of like the anti-marine fire is what it basically is. It's strength 8 -1 2 damage. Consider if you've got a Forge Fiend, take it off the shelf. I'm not going to try it competitively, but if I can get some like friendly games in soon, I'm going to bring it out on the table there and just see what I can get from it. I think it's not bad. Like, what are your thoughts there? Are you just internally laughing at me and going, why the hell am I having a conversation with this idiot? Or is it... Don't blame you.
No, I mean, I don't like the Forge Fiend. It's more of an aesthetic thing. I'm just not crazy about its look. I don't know. I think it's really hard to like comment too much on like a Codex Demon Engine right now because I'm like one day it's gonna be hitting on threes, and we'll have like cool stratagem support. But it's not
now,
that day now. So I find it very hard to justify like properly considering it when I know it's not that far away from getting to that position.
Yeah.
And I just think that like the heavy support slots can be used a little bit better, you know? That's kind of my thing. And it does have similar shooting to the Hellblade, but it really suffers massively from being obstructed by lines of sight, where the Hellblade just doesn't care about that at all. And like it's an interesting unit, but I just think in a World Eater's army, it's not really the place for it. At the same time, I can see the use that you were saying, where you put it in the back and just kind of have it vibing away. But I just wonder sometimes, you know, is the place where the objective is going to be, is that going to be a bad place to have the Forge Fiend for drawing lines of sight?
And that's valid. I just... And in my head, I'm thinking, but if I want a backfield heavy support slot for Daka and sit on an objective, I'm going to take a quad heavy bolt rapier.
Right, yeah, that's the thing.
Accuracy-wise, it's the same because it's got more shots than it hits on threes. So with a reroll 1, it's hitting as much, if not more, than the Forge Fiend. Wounding-wise, not quite as good because Strength 5 versus Strength 8. But against Chaff, I'm fine with it.
It's a fraction of the points as well, you know. Yeah. I mean, it's not my least favorite Demon Engine, for sure.
Okay.
But it wouldn't make my top 3, I think, you know.
Yeah, when you include Forgeworld, for sure, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. I think even without Forgeworld.
Really?
I would say my top 3 would be like the Lord Discordant, the Venom Crawler, and potentially the Helldrake. The Helldrake has a lot more play now than I think it used to because of the changes to some secondaries.
Yeah. Okay.
I suppose the Helldrake and the Forge Fiend kind of sit in the same place for me. I think the Mauler Fiend is like the worst by a lot. Yeah, I really hate the Mauler Fiends. And I have one, which sucks so much.
I haven't bought one because I've never found it. I've not found a use for it since 8th and 9th.
I ran one when I was doing all that like Demon Engine stuff. I used to do it a lot because I didn't have a third Venom Crawler, so I just ran my Mauler Fiends. I'm just like, yo, it takes up like a heavy support slot and stuff, and I'm like, ugh, you know, it's... But yeah, as they go, the Forge Fiend isn't terrible. It's just not great right now. It's an interesting one, though. I mean...
Look, it's the same... I'm just saying, man, like, in a year's time, when we've had 3 FAQs and still no codex... Except we will have a new Imperial armor, which will have made the Hellblade, 500 points or something. You'll come with your hat in hand and say, "I'm so sorry, Jamie. The Forge Fiend, it's broken OP, and I should have been running 3 of them."
Dude, if Hellblade's got 500 points, I'm leaving this plane of existence. I won't be going to anyone saying sorry. I'm gone. I will be weeping 1,000 tears that day. But I want
to go on now, but
let's move the show on.
At some point discuss it, probably in a live stream, how we're going to adapt to a new codex with core. That is going to throw our Forgeworld stuff. It's going to make a lot of differences for the way we run World Eaters when we get core.
I think I have managed to proof my list outside of it.
Okay, that's good. I don't know if I can.
I think I can.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I'm worried about LVO. If we get... We're going to touch on that shortly.
That's
just
another problem.
Give us your thoughts on Warzone Caradon, Book 2, the book of nothing fucking relevant to us.
The book of pain! Oh, man. So look, we said in the pre-show, we're not going to bemoan it too much because everyone's bemoaning it, and we all know, we all know it's really bad. It does suck, and... I'm pretty sure a couple of weeks back, when people are getting hyped, I said something along the lines of, yo, we'd better be careful about getting too excited for this because it might be nothing. Yeah. And it was nothing. So unfortunately, that was how it transpired.
Yeah.
So look, it'd be one thing if the rules were shit. but the rules are shit, and the rules for the AdMech are so broken. And I'm like, these are in the same book.
Yep.
They're both armies of renown. What happens? I saw a thing today on Reddit, which was hilarious because it showed how the Disciples of Belcor aren't actually a usable army because they don't have a common keyword apart from chaos. They don't have like a Legion, Shadow of Legion, or like Disciples of whatever. They don't have one of those. So you can't run a Disciples of Belcor army because it means that you would have to put them in separate detachments, and you can only have a single detachment in an army of renown. So it's not even a legal army in any sense of the word. Not only that, if it was, it is garbage. So, okay, my biggest problem with the armies of renown, I'm going to vent a little bit, right? Because it really bugged me. There was such a huge miscommunication between how this was like put out into the public on Warhammer Community and how the rules actually were. There's like a huge difference between the things that they said on Community and the things that actually happened. Because on Community, they were quoting things like, you can bring demon engines with this. They had pictures of Bellicor next to Helldrakes, next to Great Unclean Ones, next to Bloodthirsters.
Right now, yep.
You can't do any of that. You can't bring demon engines. You can't bring world eaters. You can't bring Emperor's Children. You can't bring knights. You can't bring titans. You can't bring death guard. You can't bring Thousand Sons. You can't bring greater demons. You can't bring berserkers. You can't bring noise marines. You can't bring plague marines. You can't bring rubricae. I'm like, yo, what the hell can I put in this army? Oh, you can't bring demon princes either. You can't bring anything. It's so terrible, you know? Like, because I remember when the first preview came out and they were like, oh, you have to like do that weird thing with marks where it's like you have to cherry pick each mark, and I was like, that seems pretty stupid and restrictive. But then Mike was kind of like, you can get around it with Furies, and I was like, big brain. And now I'm like, what's the point? Because I can't even like bring war leaders and be like, oh, yo, they're like hanging out with Bellicor, because apparently you just can't. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, fair enough, Death Guard and Thousand Sons, because like they've got their own like rules and stuff, but I'm like, yo, why are you ragging on world leaders and Emperor's Children? We did nothing. You know? I don't know, man. Look, that was a big vent in a short space of time. But
you're entitled to it, man.
Disappointed. Like, it was the miscommunication was what kind of bugged me the most, because that kind of stuff really bugs me, you know, because it hypes you up, and then you're like, hang on, I just can't do the things they said I would be able to do. So why say it, you know? Yeah.
I'm gonna pivot a little bit because I agree with basically what you said there. I've once Bellicor was announced, I wanted the model, and had he have been usable with World Eaters, I would have used him in friendly games, as he's basically not.
He's not a world leader, you know.
And you can't run him as like a supreme commander or anything like that.
No, it's really interesting that he isn't.
Yeah,
he is a HQ. I was surprised.
I was hoping he would have like something that would mean you could put him in any, as long as you've got chaos, he would have like a special rule that said does not break Battleforged, even though like he's multi-aligned, he basically is like an unaligned being, right? So you could throw him in, and I was hoping they would say, even though Bellicor is a Psyker, you may include him in a World Eaters list without losing your Legion trait and stuff.
Because like Bellicor just shows up, right? And who the fuck is going to tell Bellicor to go home? You know, like,
maybe.
Karen's like, actually, Bellicor, we're not allowed to have Psykers here, so you can't play with us. Man, Karen is being used as a hockey puck in that situation, you know? He is being sent across the battlefield. No one tells Bellicor what to do.
Right.
Except apparently they do.
Yep.
You know? Apparently Bellicor is like, actually, I don't want to hang out with the world leaders. They're just like pretty weird. And those Emperor Children, man, like, no, it's just not my vibe, you know? I'm like, but look, Bellicor still slaps as a data sheet. I'm gonna run the crap out of him in my Demons army. I'm gonna have him and his 2 Bloodthirster bodyguards, and I'm just gonna run that and be like, yo, this is cool. Deal with it.
Yeah.
It's just really annoying because the stuff for the Legions of Shadow is pretty good rules, the stratagems and abilities and stuff, but the gatekeeping to get to those rules is pretty extreme. But look, that's what the book is for me.
Yeah.
So disappointment, but not unexpected.
And And the Chaos Space Marine rules?
Sorry, what rules?
Battle loss has been clarified.
Oh yeah,
it now
great.
Works as intended, which is how I've been playing it anyway. So brilliant.
Again,
okay.
This is like back to the marketing thing where I'm like, it bugged me so much that they were like, the book will include rules for Chaos Space Marines. I'm like,
but will it?
No. It was just did it yeah, really. So like, okay, I think I said it in the pre-stream. I didn't think a book would be more insulting than Chaos 2.0, but this book is more insulting than Chaos 2.0. Yeah. This is like we're just getting back on our feet from, okay, I don't know if you watch much anime, but you know in like a lot of like anime there's like the big bad guy battle, right?
Yeah.
And it's like the main character gets beat down, and that was like 2.0 was us getting beat down, right? And then there's like in the protracted battles there's usually a moment where they get back up and you're like, yo, it's about to happen, they're about to lay it down,
and then
they get beat down again. They just get smacked down again, and that's what the Book of Fire is. We are getting smacked down so hard that we are being put through the floor and sent into a different realm because goddamn this book sucks.
However, and whilst I watch some anime with my daughter and stuff, and you know I grew up watching like Fist of the North Star and stuff. However, the exact situation you described there, it's Rocky versus Ivan Drago in Rocky 4, which I think I've mentioned before, and you haven't seen it, right?
I haven't. Yeah, everyone's ragging on me about that recently.
So he basically spends 10 very unrealistic rounds getting punched by Ivan Drago, who literally his punch is the strength of a close range shotgun blast, which does mean that Rocky is actually a superhero because he can withstand multiple shotgun blasts and not die. That's another story. But I actually did the physics on that, and it's true. I did, because they monitor Ivan Drago's punching power,
right,
and it's equivalent to a close range shotgun blast. Anyway, the point is, yeah, round 1, you know, round 2, round 3, we keep getting hit down. We get Codex 2.0, nerfs, and everyone else gets buffs, and then it's like round 9, and then we finally get
round
back
8,
up.
bro. Round 8, we're getting back up.
All right, so this is round 7. We're like clawing up the ropes, and then Caradon just comes in, haymakers us, and it's like the slow motion, head bouncing on the mat, you know, busted eye, cauliflower ear, blood everywhere. But you know what it means? You know what it means, Dara? When round 8, when that bell starts for round 8, and our codex drops, I don't know. It might be shit. I don't think it will.
I'm gonna have a heart attack either way, so I won't even live to see my first game.
Here's the point I want to make, and I know you agree with this as well. And in fact, I believe I'm kind of like bouncing off a comment you made earlier or before, anyway, and then we'll get into the main chunk of the video. I am having a fuck ton of fun running my 4-year-old Codex World Eaters. I'm enjoying the shit out of this. And I kind of don't want a Codex to drop until after the LVO. And the reason for that is because, number one, I don't want to have to completely change what I'm starting to get used to now. And buy new models and paint new models and all that. I don't want to experience that. But I'm really enjoying taking my 4-year-old army, admittedly the Forgeworld stuff is much more recent, up against armies with 9th edition codexes and giving them a run for their money. I'm enjoying the shit out of it. Like, what are your thoughts on that using our old ass codex?
Very, very simply, I've had more fun in 9th than I ever did in 8th. My book is older in 9th than it was in 8th. You know, it's really simple. I'm having such a good time. I'm pretty confident we're not going to get a book before I go to Coventry. Right. Maybe we will before I go to Manchester in March. Okay. But like I'm pretty sure we're safe for November because we have like Orcs. It's gonna be like all of August. Then we're gonna have like Kill Team, which is like another month where we probably won't get a book. Then there's like Thousand Sons of Grey Knights, and I guess now we've got Black Templars. Yay! We need another codex supplements. Come on, man, that pissed me off. You know, the reveals are so cool, but I'm like, really? Are you doing this now? Like, I know the Black Templars like had a thing in Faith and Fury, and it got like deleted, which was weird, but you know, whatever. But yeah, so like I think the next
pump this out at the start of the edition with all the other Marine shit.
I think it's because there's gonna be a bigger model release for this than there was for like the other ones. Yeah, I can see there being like Helbrecht and Emperor's Champion. Yeah, and I mean like. Look, fair enough. The Black Templars are cool, and if one army deserves it out of all the loyalists, it's them because they kick ass.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think I'm pretty safe for commentary about not getting a book. And to be honest, it's like I said, like it might have been before we went live, but out of all the books that are still not 9th edition codexes, so like all those other codexes that are still running on the 8th, we are the highest placing army out of all of those in the ITC standings in the Chaos Space Marines. Within Chaos Space Marines, the World Leaders have the highest win percentage as a mono. Like, guys,
and we're above soup as well.
We don't need to complain as much as we are, you know? Like, I know it sucks, and like, yeah, we all want our new book, and it should have been here sooner, but we're doing fine in the scheme of things. Yeah. You know, we're doing better than fine. We're ahead of, like, I think we might even be ahead of the deck guard in the placings. I'm not sure on that one.
Yeah.
But we're doing okay, you know? I'm pretty happy to slug it out until we get our book. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's always a positive spin to be put on an unfortunate release.
We're not GSC and we're not Tau. Those are two armies that almost now, of course, you know, we've had some really strong Tau results recently, no doubt. I'm talking about your average player who wants to go to small events or just have fun in friendly games. When you're playing your normal Tau army or your GSC army against an average AdMech player with an average AdMech army, you are not only traveling uphill, it's raining acid on you. There's, you know, like dire wolves jumping at you. You're on fire. You're being shot at. And
there's a boulder coming down.
Yeah.
And the boulder is made of 20 Skitarii Vanguards.
Yeah. So and that's in a friendly game. Like,
yeah.
You if everything goes right for you, you've got a fucking hard match. And if something goes wrong, your skill level has to be so far above theirs to balance out if you're running Tau or GSC at the moment.
And it might just not matter. You know?
Yeah, it might.
Because if they go first and they get their command face off, it just won't matter.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep, there's sometimes if the terrain doesn't play anywhere near what you need, it's over.
The real problem is they don't have a termite drill that they can access, you know? They can't use the drill gang. I think that's really the problem.
That is basically it. You know, that's why AdMech is so good. Because they can.
Oh.
They don't use it.
They don't need it,
but they have
the option.
Access.
Yeah.
So that automatically makes them so powerful.
I was wondering. It makes sense now. All right, let's dive in.
Let's do what we're here for, right? Because I just want to carry it. We've got an hour. Because today, for the first time in my entire life, England are in a final. Now I don't know. I'm not normally much for, you know, patriotism and nationalism, and I you know, I'm a big Liverpool fan. I love my Reds, but England are in a football final, a soccer final for, you know, everyone else. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna put my shirt on. I'm gonna sit there, and my wife and daughter are gonna go, "What the fuck is going on with Jamie? Like, why is this?" So so we're gonna do. We got an hour. Let's kill this. Let's talk about gaming on the cheap, Dara. You want to start us off with a little bit?
Yeah, cool. So this is like the main focus of kind of what we're talking about today and all that. But yeah, so someone asked us if we could do a video on kind of like how to do World Leaders with just Games Workshop stuff, like on a bit of a, not like a budget per se, but like obviously Forgeworld is really expensive, and it's not an option for everyone to get into. So yeah, I know that like I wrote a list, you wrote a list, And even recently on Tabletop Tactics, Lauren started taking the world leaders out in the league that they're doing, and his list was also entirely GW.
Yeah.
I was pretty cool list, I thought. But yeah, let me run you through what I've got here.
Okay.
So I've written this list. It's obviously only for our only Games Workshop, not only Forgeworld. It's a battalion. Okay.
Okay.
So we've got a full. Our HQ slots are all taken up. So you have Khorne in one of them because Khorne's cool.
Yeah.
We have an Exalted Champion. He has Gorefather, and we have a Lord Discordant with a Bill Flamer.
Okay.
Because, to be honest, the Lord Discordant is still one of the best units we have access to in terms of raw damage output.
Yeah.
So then for our troops, we have a full troop section here. All slots are taken up. So we have 3 5-man Berserker squads.
Okay.
And we have an 8-man Berserker squad.
Ooh, okay.
Mm.
Okay. All right, so that's 23 altogether, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, I'm just, because as you talk this, I'm running the prices. Here we go. Because the Exalted Champion is called an Aspiring Champion.
Something like that, yeah.
It's a monopose model, but whatever. Okay.
Exactly.
So, all right.
So we got them for our troops, and then we have... Sorry, now just going through the list. We have a squad of Chaos Space Marines.
How many?
Just 5.
Okay, hold on one sec. I think it's 12 Berserkers to... Yep, so we're going to do... Oh, God,
there's like a weird...
$48 for... I forgot about that. So, 48, 96. All right, and then... Chaos Marines, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. All right. Go for it.
So, yeah, and then we have a squad of cultists. There's actually 12 cultists, but, not a huge deal if it's just 10. Only a couple of points. So, yeah, that's the troops. So we have some pretty standard kind of stuff going on here. For the Berserkers, we have 3 rhinos as well.
Okay. So that's 44, 88, 120.
Sorry, did I say there was 3 or 4 squads of Berserkers? Because there's 4.
Yeah, 3 squads of 5 and 1 squad of 8.
3 squads of 5, 1 squad of 8.
Yep,
yeah, so 2 of the rhinos are full. 1 has 2 spaces for Khorne and the Exalted Champion to get into. Yep. So after that, we have big squad of Red Butchers, 10-man squad with, whatever you want to load them out with, really. I've given them Lightning Claws and Combi Bolters here.
Right.
And the banner.
Hold on. How many termies was it?
10. The full 10.
Okay. I'm going to have to put Chaos in there. Sorry, everyone watching is just seeing me bounce around. Alright, so 10 termies, and so that's 120. Okay.
Then we have anything else in the elites? I don't think so. So we have 2 Venom Crawlers. Oh no, sorry, still in the elites we have a Hellbrood as well with Multi-Multa and Parascourge.
Okay.
And then we got 2 Venom Crawlers in the heavy supports.
Alright. I don't know how to price Venom Crawlers. Obviously, we're going to talk about...
oh, yeah, because they're locked in that box.
Yeah. We'll talk, yeah. I think you can get them for about 25 on eBay, so I'm going to put them 25. Might be a bit cheaper.
To be fair, you could start collecting and use pretty much everything in it for parts of this list, apart from the Obliterators.
We're going to talk about that once we sort of break down the price here, because you're already at almost $650. So
there's just one more thing: a Havoc squad with missile launchers, and I think that's the list.
Okay. All right. So first of all, your list comes in at the moment. I haven't included the cultists. You normally get them for I think about $1.50 a model, so we'll call it $15 for 12.
Yeah.
Because you're either buying the Servants of the Abyss off GW or you're sourcing them. If you want to spend more on them, that's fine. But if we're looking at price efficiency, you're probably going on eBay. So right now your list is $707. We're going to take 20% off that straight away if you're buying brand new, because you're going to be buying from Element Games or
something
FLG
like that,
or something like that, right? So we save $140 off that. So you're about $560. I'll just put that on top. That's if you're buying brand new. So
it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's an expensive hobby, but you know, most players looking at this have probably already got some of these units. But just to let everyone know, if you were to buy used goods, you would save probably 50%.
I mean, I also tried to pick units that I can see having a place currently, but also once we get a codex.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I mean, as the list goes, you know, you've got the classic triple Rhino Rush backed up by 3 really strong demon engines and a Hellbrood who's kind of hovering around doing really annoying stuff with a multi-melta. You've got loads of support in your backfield in the form of a Havoc squad, a Marine squad, and a Cultist squad to basically do what you want. It's a very classic kind of World Eaters competitive, semi-competitive list where you can kind of bring it to a fun game or a tournament and have, you know, a good time with it either way. Like there's not really much to explain in terms of how it works. I think everyone knows how it works, but you know, as like a really quick kind of like, okay, what would be a very quick, easy, and achievable and sort of like a long-lasting list that's just GW? I think this is one.
Yeah, I mean, it does. It's interesting. I'll talk about once I put mine up, and we'll be able to compare them a bit, like for the competitive angle. I think it's we've definitely got some similar thinking going on with that kind of like future proofing thing. Actually, yeah, they're very similar in a lot of ways. I think you've picked the best of what you can get. Like I respect the disco, like including the disco Venom angle in there.
I just like that ball, you know, if you get me, as like they kind of roam around together and they're really annoying.
Well, it is a bowling ball. It just rushes down the table and just
pretty much
it
takes the heat off, and then you have like a big squad of berserkers for like a big kind of punch, which is why you've got your characters in with them as well, you know, because you can buff that big squad up, and then you've got your 2 little squads to go off and do objective stuff. And I don't know, I don't hate it. And there's like a lot of firepower in that list, you know? A lot of firepower. But what have you got for us?
Okay, so let's start off. I'm also running Khorne. Let me stick him in there so we know that. I've got a Dark Apostle who will obviously be running the 5-up invuln. Okay, he's 35 as well. Then for my troops choices, I have 4 squads of 5 berserkers. These are, each of them is the same chain axe, chainsword, and lightning claw, chainsword on the champion, right? I then have 2 squads of bog standard marines. So my berserkers will be the same. I just have 20 berserkers. And that will also cost $96, which is absolutely $96 for 4 squads of berserkers.
Can you maybe even get them cheaper in that weird what's it called? That like stupid thing that GW sell where it's like Khorne and a million berserkers.
Can you even still buy that?
Oh man, it like comes in and out of stock every now and then. It's like
really?
Tide of Blood or something. I don't know. At least I've seen it around here anyway. But yeah, it's a pretty wacko box. I think you might have too many berserkers in that thing though. Also, if anyone's like watching and like getting into World Eaters, don't buy the berserkers.
Don't buy the berserkers, yeah.
Yeah, like maybe just wait because like
really like them.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time. It really is only a matter of time. Just hold off, you know, or kit bash or whatever. But that's not really what we're here to talk about. So yeah, keep going. I'm interested.
So I've got 2 Hellbrutes. Now I chose to run these with the fist and the melter because number 1, if you buy the multi-part kit, you get the option for it. Number 2, if you're looking second hand, you know the Dark Vengeance kit?
It's the Dark Vengeance guy that everyone's selling.
Mortis Metallicus or whatever it was called comes equipped. And a lot of people just have those and they're dirt cheap on eBay. Like I've got 2 or 3 that I converted. I've got one with like a missile launcher and las cannon, but he's, you know, doing the sideways pose sort of thing. So I got 2 of them and I do value the melter. Oh god, $108 technically for that. And then I also have the blob of 10 Terminators. I went Lightning Claw and Melter and Combi Melter across the board.
Cool.
So let me just throw that in the spreadsheet. $120. $120 for 10 Terminators, or $120 for 10 Chaos Space Marines. I understand you need troops, but who needs Chaos Space Marines at the moment? Like,
yeah, right.
Red Corsairs really like them, but
yep, they're such cool models, though. Damn, I love that kit.
Cool. But you're buying the fucking start collecting box anyway. If you're trying to get Marines,
true. Yeah, true.
Then we do have 2 squads of Raptors. Now these are just bare bones. So
they're pretty cheap models, I think, right?
Yeah, $38. Now, of course, I'm talking in dollars here. I'll run a conversion to euros and pounds after a minute, but so $76 there for 10 Raptors. Hell of a deal. Oh, and here we go. 10 Warp Talons.
Oh, woo.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. You know what this is again? I've had them used against me several times now. And Mark and Ben, both went to the ACO, both ran Warp Talons. And for this list specifically, I wanted, there's some board control going on and a bit of a Death Star with the Hellbrutes and Khorne and the Terminators. But I wanted those Warp Talons to be the turn 1 threat, to just give them 10 Warp Talons in your lines. They've cleared your chaff screen, which opens up room for the Hellbrutes and Terminators to do some work. Maybe they're exposing a character or something. That if you get first turn, 10 Warp Talons, 21 inches up the board. That's a bad day, whatever it hits. It's a bad day for Dark Angels Terminators if it hits them.
True. True.
It's Mark expressed that when we talked about them. Like, they don't care about transhuman. They're
no, of course not, because they have.
Rolling.
Yeah, doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. And -2 AP goes through that Terminator armor and forces the invuln anyway. So I don't hate them anymore.
And they're cool models, if anyone.
They're fucking awesome. And I've also got like 20 of the fuckers, so.
Yeah, I do from 8th edition, and man, it burns whenever I look at them.
Yeah, I know. So here we go. Here, based on our earlier conversation, we've got a Forge Fiend in, mate.
I knew it was coming.
I threw him into this one because of.
He's a cool model to have in like that kind of an army. I think he suits it.
Yeah, definitely. And then just to round it off, we've got 2 Rhinos. So, my list is way more expensive than yours.
Hell yeah, I win. Now you have to buy me my list.
No. So take 160 off there. Oh god, now I've got to do maths, and I hate 829 minus. I'm going to bring up my calculator and do it. So whilst let's just get that off the screen. Okay, so my list functions very similar to that. To yours. Oh my god. No, that's it is $666 after 20% off. I think mine will automatically win. It's not quite 800.
That's so cool.
But
it's the devil's list.
Yeah. So my list similar to yours in kind of concept there. Bit of a Death Star because like a bowling ball, I guess we'll call it here. The Hellbrutes and the Terminators march up the field with Khorne. That's a lot of melter coming at you. It's a lot of combat coming at you. You're dealing with it. The Warp Talons and potentially Raptors are coming in to just lock you down turn 1 if you go turn first. Forge Fiend and Marines are sitting at the back
doing stuff,
scoring some points, and then you got two Rhinos full of Berserkers with 5-up invulns, which is also helping the Hellbrutes live a little bit longer. Coming up to throw 20 Berserkers in your lines. It's old. It's old school, but World Eaters play. But there's something on it.
There's charm, right? Charm, that's it. It's super honest,
We're coming for you. Yeah. Do what you can, and that's why I've got the Warp Talons in there to help mitigate that.
I think it kind of unifies this whole topic as World Eaters on the cheap, or like getting into world leaders, what should my budget be? It's like both of them are really nice armies to learn how to play world leaders before you diversify into more complex techniques and stuff. It does what it says on the tin, you know, and I think that's really important when you're starting, because you know, it takes a while for anyone to learn a new army. So yeah, I think they're both, you know, as you said, really honest lists. They will do you well. They probably won't hold up against AdMech, but few things will, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, I like it. You know, I think it was a fun exercise to try and do it.
Yeah, I enjoyed writing the list. Now, like, I didn't devote like hours of study to it, because, you know, at this point we've all basically gone through almost every iteration of our codex variant.
It's been 4 years.
Yes, yeah, it has.
We've had long enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say, like, I think both of these lists are obviously not the highest competitive skill ceiling that you can do with the world leaders. I think, unfortunately, to really, really maximize that right now, you do need to dip a little into Forgeworld. And that is just because the rules are more modern. You know, they got a book really recently, so we are getting better rules from that. Just not because, like, oh, Forgeworld rules are broken, because that's not it. It's just it's a more relevant book.
Yeah, it's translated for 9th edition.
Yeah. So I think that's, like, really the only thing holding it back at the minute. Yeah, so, like, well, they might not be the most top tier list in the world, or at the same time, though, I mean, like, there's people doing really well with just mono GW. I'm pretty sure Mark
and Ben ran mono GW at the ACO.
Yep.
They had list similarities, but also, obviously, Mark went for, like, a sort of T8, you ain't gonna kill everything list.
I love his archetype. It's really cool.
And Ben is perhaps a bit more traditional, because he was like running obliterators and stuff in there, and then, of course, like Dylan, Matusek's list, which he took to GT a couple months. It's been a couple months ago now, but obviously he had him on the channel. His, if I'm remembering correctly, his was GW as well. So people are doing good work with GW only. Like,
yeah, and I mean, it's not like it can be done. Yeah, it totally can be done.
Now,
like,
these are players with years of experience who have dedicated a long time, multiple editions to their world eaters. So they you know, more so than us, they know the codex, the plays, like, probably more than they know their family's birthdays. You know what I mean? It's like, it's natural. But, you know, we're getting to similar positions ourselves, you know, because we both basically started at similar times, right? Or
I think you started like a little bit before me. You started in 7th, right? But I didn't start playing World Eaters for a while.
A month before 8th. Like,
yeah, I played my Ashen Legion for almost a year before I started World Eaters.
Yeah, so
that's where, like, the name comes from and everything, because I was like, oh, Ashen Legion, Ashen Marines, whatever.
Right.
But yeah. So, like, yeah, I have, like, most of 8th edition were World Eaters. All my competitive 8th was World Eaters, and then so far in 9th, obviously, yeah. But, like, yeah, I pretty, like, new, I guess, to the whole thing in the scheme of things, you know. Yeah.
And I think maybe that's where our I hate to use the word influence, because I don't want to take credit for anything that isn't immediately credited to us. But because we have come in, because 8th was possibly one of the biggest edition revolutions since, was it
5th, I think?
Yeah, I think it was 5th.
4th to 5th, I think, was the other big one, yeah.
So we came back into the hobby, or back and then into the hobby with 8th, right? Let's just call it that. So we started building our armies with 8th in mind. Forgeworld being a thing, we both looked at it as an option. We didn't have an army that we've spent 20 years or 10 years building and painting. We basically started with all this in mind, and it's like, oh, that Leviathan looks badass, or man, Hellblades are cool, or whatever. And we were building our list with that in mind, rather than, I've already got 5,000 points of World Eaters, I'm just going to use what I've got.
Right, yeah. We had
how
a fresh slate kind of a thing, you know.
So maybe that's where, because both of us have been very proactive with liking Forgeworld models, right? And we just have a different, because we're newer players, essentially.
Yep.
Call it what it is. We're newer players to the World Eaters than people who have been collecting and playing World Eaters for 20 years. Therefore, our experience...
Shock horror.
Huh?
Shock horror to find out that we're like noobs at World Eaters, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I think that's maybe an influence. And then obviously because we've got a YouTube channel, we have a little bit of influence. But at the end of the day, mono GW World Eaters are doing well in tournaments until me and you go and take the LVO in Coventry, which is obviously going to happen.
Yeah. It's an inevitability.
It's, why even show up, quite frankly?
Right, but, yeah. I mean, they already sent me the trophy, so...
Right, yeah. But, you know, I think you can. I think using mono GW at the moment restricts you, and especially as a newer player who doesn't have the wealth of experience and everything else, you have a challenge. But Forgeworld adds a huge price overhead, which is obviously disconcerting and off-putting for people. So play the damn game how you want. You can do it both ways. You just have to get the reps in and do the work to be good at the game, right?
Fact. Yep. Yeah, I mean, don't let us dictate what you do and don't buy. Certainly take from our videos whatever you want about maybe making a decision or helping you to make one, but just because I said Hellblades are good doesn't mean you should get them.
Exactly.
I mean, I'm all for if sure, you might pick up on something we say, but try it out on TTS or proxy 100. It, or do whatever you need to do to test it out in a bunch of games before you decide if it suits you or not. And yeah, I mean, I think we did a pretty good job of kind of talking, just GW for a while, because there's a lot of choice there, and obviously, the Forgeworld stuff is going to remain stagnant, but the GW stuff is going to get better rules pretty soon. So we know what the 9th edition Forgeworld stuff is. We don't know what it is for GW. So
I'll be interested, because when did 9th edition drop? It's basically a year ago, right?
More or less a year ago, yeah.
Yeah, it's July, August, something like that.
August, I think.
Yeah. So we're coming up to a year. Obviously, are we even halfway done with codexes at this
Not
point?
even close.
No.
I don't even think we're a third of the way done.
Yeah, because I think there's 24 codex armies.
And we have 6. I think we have Necrons, Marines, Sisters, Admech, Dark Eldar, Death Guard. So we have 6. Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. Orcs coming next week.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm just bringing up... it's going to be hard for people on here to see. Hold on. Let me just edit this. Should be... Yep, this one. So, sorry, Dara. I'm just... I'm doing some OBS editing here to help make our point. Crap. Okay. So, let's hide that. Sorry, this is confusing for anyone watching, but this makes it a bit more easy for you to see. So, right. At the moment, we've got Sisters. Oh, God. We need Custodes. We need Astra Militarum. We need Knights. We need, Inquisition and Assassins will be in supplements or something, I'm guessing. Then we need Demons. We need Chaos Knights. We need regular Chaos Space Marines. Thousand Suns is coming. Craftworld Eldar, Genestealer Cults, Harlequins, Orcs are about to drop. Tau, Tyranids, Inari, depending on what they do with that, probably be a supplement again. Then obviously we've got Black Templars, Grey Knights going to drop. We've had Death Watch, Dark Angels, Blood Angels, and some supplements. Yeah, there's
a lot to go. I mean, obviously, it was a messy year for everything. But look, yeah, it is what it is. Unfortunately.
Yeah. But the reason I've said that is we'll probably get an Imperial Armor version 2 at some point.
That'd be cool.
Or I wonder, it depends on their marketing philosophy and their, you know, what they're really doing with Forgeworld. Are they downsizing it to incorporate into GW? Are they going to make it just the Horus Heresy stuff? I don't know what they're going to do. Like, it's hard to say.
Super hard to say.
Yeah. They're not going to transpose every Forgeworld unit this edition or this year or in the next couple of years. We know that is impossible. But I wouldn't be surprised to see another Imperial armor. Hopefully they don't do like campaign crap. I just update Imperial armor.
It depends, because if they do it like the old Forgeworld campaigns, like the Siege of Rax, I'm down for that, because those were cool books with a lot of good lore.
We're already into having 2 campaigns now. Like
yeah, I mean, if they do it like the Forgeworld campaign as opposed to like the campaign books, you know.
Okay,
because I thought those were cooler. But yeah, I mean, I don't really agree with the campaign supplements at the minute. I don't think they should be happening.
Not now.
But
you should have every codex before you drop campaigns.
Like AdMech have 3 9th edition books currently. Most factions have none. That's cool.
Yeah, it's it is disappointing.
Hell yeah. Anyway, look, you know that's all out of our hands. What we can say is what a million other people are going to say. But I think we did a cool job of like, you know, touching base with like GW ideas and that kind of stuff.
And like we said, we're not in a terrible place. Like you said at the beginning, out of all the non 9th edition codex armies, Chaos Space Marines are doing the best.
Yep, I believe so.
ITC wise. And within the Chaos Space Marine factions, the World Eaters have the highest win rate on the ITC Battles app.
We're the best army in the game.
Excuse me, I just No, you know what? For running on a 4-year-old book, we're not the best army, but it's pretty ridiculous that we are able to compete as well as we are with honestly, we were the second worst faction when the codex dropped within CSM, right? Word Bearers had it worse than us. Faith and Fury put the Word Bearers above us as absolute rules wise. Sure, their Legion trait is still worse, but their psychic powers got made awesome, and with the Master of Possession options and stuff like that. So on paper, we should be the worst army in the game, and we were in 8th edition, where 40k Stats Center tracked us. There was one Scions like regiment, and there was one Sisters regiment, which were below us in the sub faction rankings, and that was only because they had like 3 games each across the edition. We had, you know, like several dozen, but 40k Stats for 8th edition.
Yikes.
We were the worst faction. Like,
hey, we've done so good.
And now we're the best. The only thing that, within our, you know, subgroups, right? The only thing that changed is 9th edition. And
the existence of the Red Path.
Oh my... I would say
not to pat ourselves on the back.
I would say more the existence of Imperial armor, which which did a hell of a lot for us. But hey, maybe it is. What does everyone think? Is this channel the reason the World Eaters are such a fucking meme?
It is. Come on, feed our ego. Feed my ego.
You know what though? Like when our codex does drop, if they do it like they should do, we're going to be a very strong army.
Yeah, for sure.
We're going to be a strong army. I'm not wish listing. If we get anything, absolutely anything, other than a nerf, which wouldn't surprise me too much.
I think that'd be so funny.
Imagine this. If all that happens is our Legion trait gets changed to add 1 to the attacks value of all World Eaters units, so it affects vehicles as well. You know what? For the shittest upgrade they could possibly do,
Drill Gang.
Drills just got 25% better in combat.
Right,
I'll take that. I'm not going to spend $60 for it, but I'll take it. If that was literally the only change that our vehicles and everything got access to. I'll take that to the LVO.
But look, yeah, it's gonna be a hot book, I'm sure, when it comes out, and yeah, it'll be really interesting to see how far we go. But you know, it's a ways away. Yeah, we'll get it when we get it.
Yeah.
And until then, you know, I think we did a pretty good,
for sure,
pretty good summary of how to mess around with GW stuff.
I just want to quickly just go over the comments a little bit because sorry, people in the chat, I wasn't ignoring you. It's just, you know, we were doing our deep dive here. So let's say I'm just rolling back. I know. Oh God, wow, there's bloody hell. How many people's in here? Damn, well, we've sat right around 15, 20 viewers, which is, I think, our best again. Every time we stream, it gets better, man.
Hell yeah.
So a lot of talk on the Emperor's Children strap when we were talking about them. Doom Rider stuff. Marcus runs the big blob of bikes.
Nice. Yeah.
Because
I respect that.
Maybe dropping them, but I'm thinking about it. Rob talks about new possessed models. Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
Man, the Greater Possessed looks so good. You know, I'm like, give me.
We definitely need new.
Then
Possessed.
Again, I'm like, man, when it comes to Possessed, I'm like, okay, my Greater Possessed going to be that Archel Tal model, and my regular Possessed are going to be the Gal Vorback because those models are good. They're so good.
Argyle Tal is, I love it.
That model is gorgeous. I can't wait for that to come out.
Stephen Bonner, I'd like to see more Dark Mech, Demon Engines. Yep, definitely. I'd like to see Dark Mechanicus. My God.
I have been actually. Let me see. Hang on. I think he's like right behind me. I made a Dark Mech guy this week.
Oh, did you?
I don't know. Let me try and hold him up.
Oh, nice.
It's from the anniversary model. Yeah. So he's got like a little walking stick. He's like picking up a dead dude's foot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I've been like messing around with some Dark Mech ideas in the background.
Yeah.
For the maybe inevitable codex, I don't
know. Yeah. Zach Wade just finished the BAC's live stream. Nice. And he's changed to second army stream. Good to have you, mate.
Hell yeah.
Dean uses Greater Possessed as other options to raise banners, etc. Yeah, because that's like the one action they can do, I believe.
Is banners, yeah. And like, any of the mission specifics, I think they can usually do as well.
Yeah, that's good play. Start collecting Chaos Space Marines is legit. 100% agree. It's such a good deal. I'm actually thinking of buying a bucket ton of them. Like buying like 5 or 6 of the Start Collectors because they're going to go away soon, I'm sure. Or like within a year is what I'm thinking.
I mean, you can just turn the Master Possession into a Lord with a jump pack so easily. And he looks badass.
Yeah. But I need to get my house sorted out and stuff before I can get back to having the expendable income. But I want to have them as like giveaways, like just taking out parts, like, you know, first one to comment, get a free Greater Possessed, or, you know, something stupid like that. But because I think it's such a cost-effective kit.
Oh yeah, you get so much versatility in the box.
Yeah. Need a Dark Mechanicus Tech Priest. Yeah, we need something to work with the Demon Engines. Disco Lord is good, but we need like I think an infantry version. The Warpsmith needs rules.
Hellride, I guess, would be the closest thing. I know they don't really exist anymore, but like the Hellrides were good for that.
Yeah. Future proofing the last 2 cult factions. Yeah. Spoilers from a film 25 years old. Oh God. Rocky IV. Sorry. Yeah, I didn't really spoil it. I mean, you can watch the preview and you get that. Chaos Codex drops. Still no Berserker or Noise Marine cult list. Wouldn't be surprised. CSM 3.0. Yeah. Die Harder. Rob is coming home. Yeah, 3 lines, mate. I mean, I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna sit there and yell. I'm gonna be incredibly obnoxiously English for 90 minutes here shortly. But I'll be in my own little enclosed space. No one's
that's better.
I'm not gonna riot. I'm not gonna do anything stupid. Kit Bash for the win from Marcus again. eBay secondhand.
Yep.
The whole eBay thing and stuff. Look, it's an option. It's an option. If you need to save money, you buy secondhand. I mean, support. in my opinion, support your local gaming store, especially if you game there. If you go there and use your gaming store to play, buy some shit there. Like, not just like a pot of paint.
What kind of a game store do you have?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm not in Colorado, but yeah, support your local gaming store. If you need to buy a kit, you ain't got to buy your entire army there, but buy a box of models there once, and every couple of times you visit.
Yep.
Helps them out. But short of that, and they'll also probably get you a decent discount. But eBay, trade groups, they're options. If you're on a budget, they're options. Okay, don't feel like you have to spend $829 or whatever it was I came up with.
No, hobby smart. Nope.
Yeah, exactly. You've got your money, spend it smart. And then RTLW miniatures, they are really good. Like the third party stuff. The only reason I don't use that stuff, and I think similar for you, Dara, if we ever are going to play in a Warhammer store or in a Games Workshop event, which looks like it might become a thing, and even
I mean, I intend to go to the Warhammer World GT this coming year. Right. So I'm pretty restricted. Yeah, but I don't really care.
Yeah. Don't worry, we're not only getting CSM 3, we're getting Faith and Fury 2. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You know what? Yeah. Okay. Ooh. Jonathan Antoine. Well, it helps a lot to see a 40k World Eater focus channel. It's just awesome to see the fam. Yeah, I appreciate that, Jonathan. Because Dara and I are just both huge World Eaters fans, and
you would never have guessed, right?
Right? Yeah. We just love doing this, quite frankly. 3D printed drill off of eBay for 25 quid.
Hell yeah.
Look, it's your money. Your money. I can't advocate for that. It's your money, mate.
Yeah, man. Yeah, every hobby is different.
Yeah, you know what? Enjoy the game how you want. But I think, Dara, we've kind of covered it all, right?
Yeah, man, for sure. It was a good one, I think. Thanks to everyone who tuned in.
Potatoes. Anyone who's watching this or listening to this on the podcast or on the the re-upload, thank you for sticking it out. Just want to remind anyone doing that. I hate to shill for Patreon, man, but we kind of got to do it. Like with some of our stuff we've got planned.
Yeah, true. There's some stuff coming.
So let me just at the end, because anyone who's listening, go ahead and disconnect now. I don't care. It's the end of the video, right? I'm gonna say it. I don't feel bad about just Xing out of the video because this is the. But we don't advertise. We don't run ads on our videos. We don't paywall content. We do this off our own backs, and we love doing it, and we're always going to do it no matter what. But we do have a Patreon program, and we would love for you to check it out. Links are in the description. All the money does go back into the channel. We've been talking. We've got some ideas for some future stuff, which we need to finalise before we kind of really talk about that. Oh God, I just disconnected one of my monitors. There we go. But yeah, if you are able to spare $1 a month, $5 a month, whatever it is, that's really appreciated. And one of the benefits we are offering is this full stream is wholly available to Patreon members. The meat and potatoes is available for everyone, but there was about a 30-minute pre-stream chat that
it's like our warm-up, where we just kind of hang out and
and we don't
if people are hanging out, we answer questions.
It's available to everyone who stuck around and watched, and then it's available again to patrons. So we don't feel bad about sticking that behind the wall, I guess.
Man's got to eat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's not cheap to run a YouTube channel. To consumables, like all the extra painting work you're doing for the channel.
My dwindling insanity.
Yeah, right. Just like the equipment you got. But anyway, enough of that. I'm done.
It doesn't matter if it's for you guys. We really appreciate it, and obviously. This whole stream was an idea from one of our patrons. So shout out if any of you guys want to shoot us some more ideas. We're happy to do it.
Yeah.
we might have some other stuff coming up pretty soon. I think that we might be able to talk about at another time.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
yeah, I mean, look, if you're able to, great. If you're not, it doesn't matter. We're not going to stop making this stuff because we're doing it not because we're making money, but because we're having a good time.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly.
And I don't think that's going to change.
No, it's not. I'm going to do it as long as I'm playing this game and
Hell
enjoying this game. But yeah. All right, mate. I think we're going to end the stream on that note. And
let's do it.
I'm going to walk us out. I'm going to take us out. Okay? I'm just letting you know. All right, everyone. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for commenting. Everything else. Appreciate you. Stay healthy. Stay safe. And kill main bird.